vow and I can't talk for shit wearing these teeth. Alright, so the teeth are off and hopefully you can understand me better now. I'm Val, and this is my first LARP preparation video. Before I go into that, if you don't know what LARP is, it's live action roleplay games. And basically, it's a lot of make-believe. You get to play another character, it's a little bit of like improv acting, a little bit of role-playing, because there is a game and a system. I am not the best person to explain what it is because I have not actually been to one. I've just watched a lot of videos about it, just read a lot about it, and I have played tabletop games before. So if you want to really hear from a specialist what it is, I'm linking some videos here and I'm gonna leave them below as well. And you can hear all these amazing people that I love to watch talk about LARP and explain what LARP is. Alright, so hopefully you know what LARP is now. The LARP I'm going to is Convention of Thorns. Convention of Thorns is a game based on White Wolf's Vampire the Masquerade. Vampire the Masquerade is inside World of Darkness. World of Darkness has this entire world where creatures and monsters inhabit it along with the humans. So vampires, werewolves, changelings, all kinds of stuff that you can play as depending on which campaign you're playing. So I have actually played Vampire the Masquerade before a couple of times. So I have a sense of what the characters are like, what kind of vampire exists in this world and how it makes it different from other world vampires. First of all, we don't sparkle. So because I haven't gone to my first LARP yet, I don't want to talk about the experience because I haven't had it yet, but I do want to talk about the things that I'm doing to prepare. So the first thing is, I just got assigned my character about 2 weeks ago. Convention of Thorns is a little bit different from other LARPs because it does follow White Wolf's canon, so they do have like limited characters and limited things that they can offer. So you don't get to create your own vampire, you get assigned a character, but they're pretty flexible with what you can do with it. You can change the domain where you're from, you can change the clan, or how old your vampire is. So if you have a new vampire, you can't make them an elder, or if they're from Barcelona, you can't say that they're from London or anything like that. But you do have the ability to change some things here and there about their stories. You just have to be very careful about it because you have to talk to the other players that might be affected if you do change your character. As long as the other players are okay, that's totally fine with them. So far, some of the things I've done are I joined all the Facebook groups, so they have discussions about everything from costumes to plots that you want to play to how to get to the LARP. Anything that you want to know, there are groups for it, and the community is super open and super helpful. So anything you ask, you definitely get an answer for. But before you ask any questions on the Facebook group, like I did, I highly recommend reading the design document. The design document is basically the LARP Bible. It says everything from where it takes place, what year it takes place, how things are going, what is the political climate around the LARP, because this is a very political LARP, for example. It's a very strategic and think of it as Game of Thrones but with vampires, and I don't think there are dragons. The design document really explains a lot about the culture of the vampires at the time, what is going on in vampire history, the rebellions that happened right before, what the Convention of Thorns is all about, what the clans are doing at the time. So it really explains all the details you need to know to understand the history your character would understand and know about as they come to the Convention of Thorns. It's also helpful because they really talk about all of the themes that most people are going to talk about when you're there. So, how you feel about humans, how you feel about being a vampire, issues in the vampire world that your character will probably know and have an opinion about. It's everything is in the design document, and it tells you a little bit about how ways you could feel about it. They give you suggestions of what kind of position your character could have. Aside from the design document, there is a character sheet that is all filled out, and it comes with like a lot of information about who your character is, about the disciplines, which are like the powers that your character has, where they came from, their family history, their history as a human, how they were turned. It's super helpful. That between those two documents, you can really get a sense of who your character is. And you know, if you want to change anything, like my character was initially a male and I made her a female, so she went from being a Conrad to a Cordelia. And so now I'm getting to understand Cordelia, understand who she is, and it's been super helpful reading all these documents. Aside from reading, I'm also talking to other players on the Facebook groups, but there's a specific Facebook group that's about looking for relations. So I already have a couple things plotted out for my characters with scene requests and everything, so that gave me a better sense of what is going to happen and what kind of thing I'm going to play out. Of course, I don't want to plan everything out, I want to get there and see how it goes first, but it's really helpful to understand what kind of situations I will be dealing with, especially on the first night, as I get used to understanding what the hell LARP is and what the hell I'm doing and who this character really is. Another thing I'm planning on doing is a character introduction video. Hopefully I'll do that in the next week or so, but I first need to settle on a dress and understand like the clothing that I'm gonna take with me. But I really want to do a character introduction video, so it's almost like a character interview, so I can get a better sense of who my character is as I speak as her. I'm not gonna lie though, I'm pretty worried about messing things up. The thing is, I don't want to ruin anyone else's games, and because LARP is so collaborative and cooperative, you're all playing the same game, there's no winning or losing, you're all creating a story together. I want to make sure that I know enough and I understand enough to play my character in the best, most interesting possible way. So for now, I will just be doing a lot more reading and just trying to get into the headspace of that character and understanding how she would react and how she would act in the more possible scenes that I will be in when I'm there. I hope this is interesting. I hope you liked the video. I don't have a lot to say yet because I am going to, you know, discover this whole world as I go through it. But I did want to share a little bit about how I'm feeling, how I'm preparing. The next steps for me are, you know, aside from reading and talking to people, figuring out a costume, understanding, you know, what kind of person she is, what kind of clothing she would wear. I'm trying out different kinds of makeup. I'm probably going with a little bit more of an innocent look. I really want to find characters that I can associate Cordelia with, so I can kind of base myself a little bit on other characters so that I have a source material for creation, if you will, for inspiration. And yeah, hopefully in a couple weeks time I'll be ready to do a character introduction video and you get to meet Cordelia herself. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you like this video. If you want to get notifications about when I upload the character introduction video, there's a little bell below that apparently it's how you get notifications nowadays. And if you have any questions, if you have any comments, any help you can give me, please leave the comments below, and I'll see you soon.